All right, and looks like we're live. Welcome everyone. This is my first interview on the Bitcoin Out Loud channel on YouTube. I'm also streaming on dlive.tv/ad180, and I'm also streaming on Twitch. I am here with Karol Trzeszczkowski, aka Liho, Bitcoin Cash developer and creator of several groundbreaking Electron Cash plugins. Most recently, the Mecenas recurring payment plugin. Karol, thank you very much for joining me for this stream.
Hey, John. Nice to be here.
Very cool. So, what I was hoping we could start out with is talking a little bit about the demand and the need for this type of feature. So, the idea of recurring payments is kind of obvious, right? You know, we have this idea of like credit cards being charged all the time for whatever services, be it Netflix or whatever, and it seems kind of obvious to have it for electronic cash, but it's not immediately obvious how to do it, right? Because credit cards are pull systems, right? Whereas Bitcoin is a push system. So could you just speak to that a little bit and tell us how you went about making that work for a system that isn't necessarily built to make it easy?
Yes, so this was possible because of the new opcode that was activated last November. It's object data sig, and the technology that it's built on are the covenants. Covenants let you check the output of the transaction, which means that you can actually restrict what one can do with money from the contract. So this yeah, it was not possible to do before. Now it is. Now it became possible. I started with first usage of covenants for last will plugin that lets you make inheritance on Bitcoin Cash. It's it's a dead man switch model where you have to poke this poke this contract once in a while to let it know that you're still alive.
Right.
And if you don't, your money are become accessible for your inheritor of choice.
Which is very, and so you're saying that that required the same upgrades that the Mecenas plugin and contract is required.
Yes, it required this technology. Yeah, I built it and then I reused this technology of covenants for Mecenas. It was yeah, like the obvious step from last wheel.
Very cool. Well, thank you for the background information. Now, you were very kind. You said that you would sort of set one up with me, and so I figure we can dive right into that. Setting it up. And this is going to be an Electron Cash. So for those who don't know, Electron Cash is a wallet for the Bitcoin Cash blockchain. They have actually mobile wallets too, but we'll be using the desktop one, and the desktop one is a little bit more fully featured, and I'm not sure if plugins are available on the mobile versions.
No, not yet, at least.
Okay, yeah. So just for anyone watching, that's the tool we're using, and it's a plugin. So I'm going to already have it installed. And if you want to know how to install Electron Cash plugins, that'll be a separate video. I'll probably make that in the near future. But for now, we're just going to assume that you've already got it installed. So here we've got mine, and I've you've got the tabs, you got history, send, receive, coins, address converter, and then the plugins will show up as tabs. So here's the Mecenas tab, and we've got two options. We've got create new Mecenas contract and find existing Mecenas contract. So if you could just walk us through what's the first thing we need to do if someone wants to create or make a recurring payment to me using Mecenas.
So the first thing that is needed is your address that is known that you control with Electron Cash, because right now this is the only interface for this. They need your address, and then well, let's just do it. I click create Mecenas contract. It asks me for my password. I paste my password, and now I see interface for creating um, Mecenas. So there are two parties. There is Mecenas, which is Greek for patron, and protege. Which is the one
Yeah, sure, that
with
makes
patron.
sense.
So I just click Control C.
Oh, and you know what I'll do? Just for 1 second, I'm gonna make your screen a little bit bigger on the stream here.
Yes. So okay.
There. Okay, sorry about that. No, actually, the resolution might still be pretty low for everybody, so they might have trouble seeing it. But you're doing great. If you don't mind, just keep talking us through what you're doing pretty explicitly. That would be great. Thank you.
All right. So I click. I get the address. Control C to copy the address. This is the address you gave me.
Yes, that is something I gave him just before the stream. So you would copy paste that and get it to them one way or another.
Yeah, so I paste it into the text place of described as protege address. I set up the total value. It will be 64 milli Bitcoin cash. It will be total value that I will put right now on this contract. And 64 milli Bitcoin cash. I set up a recurring payment value. This is the value that John will be receiving every month. I set it to 8 milli Bitcoin cash, so it's for it's for 8 8 months, right?
Very good. And is the amount of time between each payment is that something that you can adjust from that interface?
Yes, you can adjust the amount of time. We can set it for 7 days, but I'll put it like 29. Okay,
That's very good.
29. Then I just click create Mecenas contract. Do you wish to create a Mecenas contract? Yes. Yes, I created it, and now I'm waiting. I got unconfirmed transaction, which is to create the contract, and now I click find Mecenas contract. Okay, contract found. I have to put my password again here, and now we see my contracts list. There is it's right now it's not only a contract with you, but I have some other contracts, and this one is ours. It's waiting for confirmation. We can see the entire amount is 64 milli Bitcoin cash. Recurring value is 8, and my role in this contract is that I'm your Mecenas. Yeah, I'm
Very
Mecenas.
cool. And so once the contract is created, does that happen in the form of a transaction being sent?
Yeah, it happens in a form of transaction being sent to this address, to the contract address, which is pay to script hash address, which actually encodes the script code that I've written to actually enforce those rules that we now have to follow to access this money, which are that I can cancel it anytime I want, but you can only withdraw a small amount of money and send the rest of them back to the contract, effectively refreshing the timer, effectively resetting the timer for the next for the next withdrawal.
Very cool. And so something worth pointing out at this point is that because it's all in the form of a transaction that has these rules applied to it, uh, this this contract is independent of any service that might implement it, right? So if it were, say you have a service online where you have a wallet and they have this recurring payment plugin implemented there, if that service were to go down, uh, loading the keys into your Electron Cash wallet, you could find that exact same contract here, right?
Yes, yes. This is the main thing that would in future let us avoid exit scams that's well quite a risk in this
In the
this
cryptocurrency
world.
space. Yes. Well, yeah, that's a good point in the world in general, but then maybe even especially in the cryptocurrency
Yeah,
space.
especially in this space. Yeah.
And also, even potentially not in the case of an exit scam, but for whatever reason a service were to go down,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah.
we're dealing with money here, so people need access to their money, and it's definitely a shame in any situation where if people have a source of income. And then that income is reliant on some third party being up to having their uptime or remaining solvent or staying in business.
Yeah.
Whereas this is completely independent. Now it could be implemented though by a service, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Actually, you can operate exactly the same contracts that you already have through a web service in future. The contracts you already have.
Right. It makes sense. So you've done now all there is to do on your end, or not all there is to do necessarily, but all you need to do before I can then see the contract on my end. Is that right?
Yeah. You can already see it probably.
Okay, so if I go to home, then I'll click Find Mecenas Contract.
Yep.
All right, fine. And then Contract Found. Plugin requires password to operate. All right, I'm going to drag my password off screen. If you can tell what it is by the clicky sounds of my keyboard, you are welcome to my Bitcoin. All right, so
Yeah.
it's found the address. It shows me the contract address. Pledge available in, and it's waiting for confirmation. The amount is 0.064. The recurring value is 0.08, and my role is protege. So that means that I'm on the receiving end of this recurring payment contract.
Yeah, and instead of end button as it is in my on my side, on your side, what is what is written on the button?
At the bottom it says take payment from pledge. Is that the one?
Yeah, yeah, and my button shows end because I can end the contract.
Right, and I think that's especially cool. Is that you the uh the it obviously requires funding the contract initially, because it's a push system that you can't have it drawing necessarily from your address. But that's not really too big of a downside because even though it required funding from you up front, you can cancel at any time, which I think is especially cool, and will make it a lot more viable for people who might initially not really be so sure about setting up long-term support for, say, content creators.
Yeah. So let's do another cool thing. Let's add another coin to this contract. We can actually add another coin which is an easy way to increase your support or decrease if, let's say, I don't know, Bitcoin grows to the flipping happens
Oh,
and
right. Good
it's
point.
worth like 1 million, and you're not like you don't want to cancel the entire contract, but yeah, maybe n- not few $1,000
Right.
for
Sure. I
yes.
we think we'll keep our fingers crossed that that'll be required.
Yeah, we keep our fingers crossed. But do you show my screen? Can you
Yes.
show me?
Now, unfortunately, it is pretty pixelated, so that for whatever reason the quality is very low. Uh,
Okay, maybe it's in internet quality.
but
Yeah.
but I can see your screen. It's like so like half of it is the Skype, and then actually, are you able to maybe just make the Electron Cache take up more of the screen instead of having it
Oh,
half be the Skype?
yeah. But yeah, it
Oh,
will
right. The text isn't going to resize, right?
text is larger.
But that's fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
if you
So
don't mind, then just talking us through what you're doing, that would be great.
okay. So what I do, I now I have now my contract address highlighted. I click Control C to copy the address. I go to Send tab. I paste the address. It's P2SH address. It's pay to script hash address. It starts with P. If you're on cache address form, yeah.
Okay.
So I put here 64 milli Bitcoin cash, yeah, and I send it. I have to uh, give my password. Okay, payment sent. So I click home. Was my it was broadcasted, and find the existing Mecenas contract. Yeah, sorry that it's still a lot of many times I have to paste my password, but
Oh yeah.
I will fix it so it's only once. Yeah, it's early.
Sounds good. We're still
So
early
yeah,
on.
I sent the coin there, and now when we look at the contract, we actually see two coins here. The first coin, the coin that we saw before. It's now confirmed, so it's showing 29 days to go to be
Very good.
available, and the second one that is still waiting for confirmation. Both are 64 milli Bitcoin cash, and both of them are 8 milli Bitcoin cash. Yeah, the rules apply per coin. So right now your support is 2 times larger. It's 16 milli Bitcoin cash.
Oh, sorry. Get this on my screen. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, and on John's side, he will have to click take payment from pledge 2 times, and he will receive 2 times 8 8
Okay, very good.
Bitcoin cash. Yeah, but
Excuse me.
if price of Bitcoin cash doubles and I still want to send him what was in the beginning there, I can just cancel one of them.
And could you walk us through that? I mean, maybe it's unfortunate. Now, I think of it now. Maybe it would have been good actually to have me walk. It's just because of the video quality to have me walk through creating the contract. Oh, so maybe I'll have to report this. Sorry, something went wrong with Electron Cash.
Oh, but probably my fault.
Well, so
Yeah.
far everything's looking pretty good still, and actually, looks like we're still fine.
Yeah, you probably deleted the entire value, right? Yeah.
Sorry, say it again.
You probably had a empty place. It's my fault. Yeah.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
So am I able to take amount right now, right away, or is it do I have to wait the amount for the first transaction?
You have to wait the amount, but we can create another contract where I set the time to 0, and we can show it this way.
Okay, sure.
Okay, so do we do it?
Yes, that sounds good.
Okay, so let's go for it.
Just so everyone can get the
Okay.
satisfaction of seeing me click take payment from pledge.
So I put period for 0 days. Total value will be, let's say, 5, and recurring value will be 1. Ha. Ha.
Very good.
Um,
Almost like
you know,
just a regular transaction.
yeah. So I copy your address again. I put it Control V and create contract. Yes. So now I wait to have it. Yeah, I have it. You probably also have it right now.
Yes, I did see it. So
We can both find it with the plugin. Control V. Yeah, and yeah, we do have it.
okay. Now, will it take until it gets a confirmation before I can take payment from pledge?
No, you can take it right away.
Very cool. So, let's see, transaction ID, and then broadcast payment sent. New transaction. There it is up in the. Oh, you can't see in the upper right of my screen because there it is. I had my address covering up the notifications, but there it is up at the top there. New transaction 0.001 BCH plus 30 cents.
Okay, so let's look again at the contract because yeah, right now to refresh the interface, I need to go find it again.
Okay, so home, and then so someone who wants to like go home and use this today, it looks like the way you go about sort of refreshing the interface is home and then find again, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's
And that's
really early stage.
that's fine. Yeah, that's this is the cutting edge, and it's Electron Cash is a bit of a power wallet, so this is really just to show the technology that is possible, and the front end will get better and better with time.
Yeah, although it's fully operational, you can use
right,
it,
right.
Use it for actual, mecenate patronage. Right.
Absolutely, which I can't help but point out. It almost makes when I talk about the front end isn't quite there yet. It almost sounds like the people who defend the Lightning Network, but this works on a fundamental level. It is working right now in the way it is intended to, and just needs to be cleaned up. Whereas this is maybe not the case for the Lightning Network. So
yeah, it's working.
definitely working. And so yeah, there we go. We've withdrawn it. So what maybe if you don't mind spending just a little bit of the extra time so people can see it, I'm gonna make your video small again, and then would you mind staying with me just and walking me through making a pledge on my end, just so that people can see it a little more clearly?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would go create new
Yes.
Mecenas contract.
Yeah.
Password, and then protege address. And so you're able to send me one, either Skype or Telegram. Anything would be fine.
Okay. I send you on Skype.
Very good.
My address. Yeah, just a random address from receive.
All right. So then in protege address, I'll put the address there. Total value 0. We'll do that 001 back again for poetry's sake. Recurring value, we'll do 0.005 period 1 day. So you have to wait till tomorrow to get that other 15 cents.
Okay.
I want to double check my screen, make sure, yep, we can see it. And then create, and that's enough contract. Do you wish to create? Yes, I do. All right. And so
I got it.
there it is.
I got it.
That's really very painless. It seems like it could be kind of a scary thing because there's scripts involved. Like you said, there's covenants. Like there's stuff going on behind the scenes that makes it so that the scripts are being created such that the amount can only be withdrawn, and it can be canceled, and there are all these things that can happen. But I think it's already a good demonstration of how hidden the technology can be behind just functionality. It just works. So if I click find, and there it is. There's the new contract, and my role is Mecenas. Right there we go.
Yeah. So we did it.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks very much for joining me for the stream and for talking us through everything. Is there anywhere that are you accepting support via Mecenas contracts? Is there somewhere that people can find you, either on Twitter or somewhere you want to plug that people can know to find you if they want to get in contact with you about something like this?
Yes. So my address that I accept Mecenas on is on my GitHub, where it's right now is the best place to download the plugin from. It's on the end of the README of the README page. I believe you linked to my GitHub everywhere where you announced this
Yes,
thing.
yes, and I've got it up on screen now, so that people can see, make sure they're at the right place.
Yes. So that's the place where you can support this project.
Very cool.
Yeah, and you can contact me. Yeah, and there are also contact info. How to contact me. You can reach me by email. It's my name, last name at Gmail. And yeah, and I think I don't have my Twitter account written there, but I will fix it. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. So if you want info, you can find it at his GitHub and the README for the Mecenas contract, which will, if you don't know GitHub, it'll just be on these pinned projects here. The fourth one you see will be Mecenas recurring payment EC plugin, EC being Electron Cash. And if you just scroll past the little bits of stuff you find first that looks like scary code, but it's in file structure, you can, at the bottom will be the README, and then at the very bottom of that, there's the a little further. Here we go. Here's his donations address and all that stuff. And let me zoom in real quick. Anyone who wants to send him a donation on stream, I'll see if I can't get it really big on the screen. All right, that's as big as. Oh, is that as big as I'm gonna get it? That's as big as I'm gonna get it. All right. Well,
Yeah,
thank you. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Since John already have it set up, support him.
Well, yeah, I certainly appreciate it. I think you're doing obviously a very good, important work. So you definitely also deserve it at the very least, if not as an alternative in addition. So yeah, thanks very much. I appreciate it. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I didn't. Of course, I had I had OBS covered up, and the sound notifications might not have been working. So anyone who tipped the stream, I appreciate it. Sorry if I missed it or if it didn't go through. Yeah, I think that's all we have to say. So thanks again very much for joining me, Karol.
I just got a transaction.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, everybody. All right.
Okay,
Peace.
thank you very much. Thank you.